they were like, what is expressive? How are you feeling? You know, so, but they came, they showed up. They did that. And they showed out. They look good.
True.
They look good.
True.
So this one, again, you know, we don't have to come in our full Harlem Renaissance fits.
Put some suspenders on.
No, yeah, but you can. Yeah, that would be dope.
Speak Easy Studios. Speak and be heard. Where can I hear some live music?
Maybe some live poetry.
Some good vibes?
Yeah, I want to dance with somebody.
Some strong drinks.
Sound like some grown folks business.
Sounds like the Love Jones experience.
Yeah, the Love Jones experience. I feel welcome.
I'm Kim Smith.
I'm Jashua Sarah. We want to talk about some love and some Jones and some experiences.
Absolutely.
But first, you did introduce yourself as Kim Smith. Let us find out more about you, Kim Smith, because you are the one who brings this all together in the first place. This is your idea. So who are you?
Owner of Be Well Events. We host cultural and wellness events for the people, Black people specifically.
True.
Just so our community can be well. It's just that simple. So yeah, the Love Jones experience is a project that was birthed from just feel good moments. Like, what are they? Just me and my friends kind of like vibing. Like, it's one of our favorite movies. We're always quoting it. And it was like, yeah, you know, I think it would be really dope to have like a Love Jones experience, like a night, because we all love so many things about it. And about the art and about the people and the experiences, not just about the love, but about what they went through. A lot of me and my friends were artists, dancers, you know, singers, poets. So of course, yeah, it was a vibe. So I was like, how can I bring this to life? And I did.
So I take it you're involved in arts. Like you told me about your wellness, and then all of a sudden you talking about arts and Love Jones.
Yes.
What kind of arts are you involved in?
Well, my background, I am a writer.
Okay.
So.
What kind of writing? Like a journalist? You write business reports? What kind of writer?
I'm about to break it down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm a poet, a spoken word artist. But I'm also a screenwriter. So I have 2 degrees, and they're in those specific things.
Got it.
Yep. So yeah, I love to write. I love stories. I love writing about social justice, my people. I love my people. It's just like I was called to do that kind of work, you know, even with the day-to-day stuff that I do. It's always about like the upliftment of the youth or my people in that way. And so poetry has been just like an outlet since I was, you know, a teenager. I've been performing, but also at the same time performing and protesting, performing and writing, performing and being on stages. I'm also an actor. I don't have a degree in that, but definitely lots of training, lots of background stuff with acting. So I love the arts. I love to be on stage. I'm also a singer as well.
That's a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
And they all blend together, of
they
course.
all
especially
blend
if you're on
together.
stage.
Yeah.
What's the difference between an actor and an actress? When I grew up, women wouldn't say they was actors, but I hear that now. And this is just a personal question. What is the difference now? I don't hear as many women say they're actresses anymore. Is that a thing?
No, it's not necessarily a thing. I think in the professional community, you will hear actor, you know. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only one of the art genres that has like a male and a female. Like you don't have a poet or and a poetess so much.
Right.
A singer and a singress, you know what I mean?
But there's so many dynamics, you know, when it comes to acting, and men like always having like those leading roles and really kind of at the forefront of film and theater, dating back to the Renaissance era where men were playing women. So, I think for women to be like, I'm an actress, just kind of like taking a role. But I think it kind of is, it can be interchangeable. So I don't think it matters as much.
Got you.
Okay. To some.
A doctor and a doctress.
I'm an actress.
I'm a teacher and a teacheress. I'm going to start calling women teacheresses. Let's see if I get in enough trouble with that.
That the majority of teachers
are women. That's right. That's why I'm like, why are we calling them teachers? We should be calling them teachers. Don't listen to me, man. So back to you, Kim.
Okay.
Back to you. Mm-hmm. So you're doing Be Well events.
I am.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, what are those Be Well events? If I come to a Be Well event, what's happening?
Right. So initially I started out doing more wellness events. So I had like Show Yourself Some Love, which was like a female-oriented event for Black women, all women really, but the focus was for the Black woman to be able to explore these wellness practices, outside of white spaces. Because me, myself, I found that like meditation and affirmations and yoga, all those things were like practices that I started like really diving into and getting into. But I would go to these nice studios. They were nice. But it was weird, honestly, because I was always like the only one, unless I brought like a friend with me. And then, it's always the awkward moment where you're like, okay, there's another one of us there. Hey, what's up? And it's like, she's like, hi. I'm like, hi. But it's never like a sister, like really in there.
Yeah.
Everybody's always nice. I've never had any negative experiences, but I was just like, man, it would be great to have Black spaces like this. Like, we need this too. Like, this is great. There's a reason why these white women are paying like $25 per class for this. Yeah. Because it's doing something for them. And it was doing something for me. But we just don't have that in our communities like that. And then when we do, it's almost like those people are labeled like, oh, they're earthy. And it's okay. I've been labeled earthy my whole existence.
Earth is a beautiful place.
Earth is, we do live here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're all earthy to some element.
Right. However, I wanted to also change that perspective of what wellness was. I'm seeing a lot of wellness things on like IG, women are like getting into like self-care Sundays, and that's all great. But like, how are you going to maintain that practice? Like, when life is really beating you down, like, you need practices, for your physical well-being, for your mental well-being, and of course, back in the day, it was like, go to church, praise God, give it to God. And you can still give it to God.
You can do that.
But also help yourself, so Show Yourself Some Love. Women just have this nurturing existence where we want to give so much to our children, our families, our lives. We're doing so much now in society. But I just felt that need to like, how are you showing yourself some love? How are you showing up for you? And so I wanted to develop just programming for that, like, so that women can have ways to be inspired by practicing wellness. And what does that look like for you? It doesn't have to look like what you see on IG, but like introducing them to a multitude of things. So had a couple of those events, had some therapists come through, motivational speakers, also wellness vendors, because if you are, tapping into that, like, where do you go in the meantime? Like, Be Well events aren't like every weekend. So where do you go in the meantime if you want to get into soy candles or, different scents and oils or whatever it is that you want to get into? Who are you patronizing? Okay. So that's really what it was about, like just building community. So events like that. And we have like a meditation series coming up, because a lot of people are like, hey, I do like on my IG page, like meditation Mondays. Like, I'll just talk to the people, film myself, like, hey, I just finished this meditation, it was great. And so people are like hitting me up, like, I'm trying to get into that too. Like, I know what it can be like in a space where, like, where do you learn to meditate? I know that sounds kind of like weird, but like everybody's not going to go on YouTube and, sit there like, oh, this is weird. Do I close my eyes? Right. So I wanted to create that space. And so I have, the sister Liz Straight that I've been communicating with. And we are going to push out a series next month about meditating.
Nice. She's another excellent spoken word artist.
Very excellent. See, we're multi-talented.
Very true.
This is what we do.
I heard you mention a couple times that you create these spaces specifically for Black people.
Yes.
Do you get pushback for that? Like, do people ever challenge you about that? Do you feel pressure about that kind of thing?
No, surprisingly, like even the white people are like, this is so good. Some of my white friends have come to the events and they're like, this is amazing. Like, this is so good. Because they understand that, it's clear, like, to see, like, when you walk into certain spaces, these are the people that you're going to see. Like, you walk into a yoga studio, you're not going to see it full of Black women, not in this city. Right. If you were in another city, that might be a different case. Even sometimes with the gym, we're in the gym sometimes, but, like even with just fitness in general, I post a lot of fitness stuff on my page, just inspiring women to take care of yourself, please. It's important. I don't get a lot of pushback, no.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. And so you get to do it unapologetically and just shine lights.
I do.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
I don't care either.
Exactly. All right, good. So that's Be Well.
That's Be Well.
And now you've got the Love Jones experience that you just started.
Yes.
Tell us about the first one. We've done one so far, right?
Right.
Tell us about that one.
So the Love Jones experience, the very first event was hosted in Boynton Beach at a very intimate setting, a barbershop.
Word.
Barbershop. And I mean, it was classic. It was definitely an event that created a vibe for everybody that was in there. I mean, it was like family. We were all like, we didn't all know each other, but we all knew each other.
Yeah.
So I got nothing but positive reviews from the Love Jones experience. We had artists, we had poets, we had our live band, Jay Sharp.
Wait, when you say artists,
I do that all the time.
Be specific, because then you said other kinds of artists. I'm like, what you mean artists?
And you question me every time. So artists, what are you saying? Yes. Okay, specifics. We had singers.
Okay.
We had live painting. We had singers. We had instrumentalists.
Okay.
So basically, if you were creative and you were in that space, you were welcome and you were at home.
All right.
And that was the goal, was to create a sense of home. That's what people kept saying, like, oh my gosh, the crowd. Like, it was like I curated the audience. Like, I handpicked them. I really didn't know who was going to come to this event. It was my first event like this. I knew my friends were going to be there. But when the tickets started rolling in, I was like, I don't know her. I don't know them. This person just bought 4 tickets. I don't know them. I don't know these names. Like, I didn't recognize the names. So then that just started making me think, like, okay, people are really feeling this. They're really vibing with this. They're really taking a chance on this because this hasn't been done before. They don't have any, previous experience with Kim Smith.
What hasn't been done before? What do you mean?
Well, Kim Smith hosting the Love Jones experience hadn't been done before.
Got you.
So I felt honored that they trusted me enough to, pay that money.
Yeah.
And they, loved every minute of it. And I was very proud to be able to create something so authentic for them to experience. And people were like, when is the next one? Yeah. Please give us more.
So I'm going to point out that you did not mention Poets, and I know Poets was there. I'm asking like I wasn't there, but I was there, Shorty.
Did I say that?
I was there, Shorty. You said instrumentalists. You said singers 2 times because clearly you got bias on singers, but I'm going to let you rock.
Well,
you didn't bring up hip hop. I'm pretty sure somebody had to bust the bar out there.
You know
what I mean? Like we had all kind of flavors in there. I was there.
I would love
people were singing along. So we had audience artist members, you know what I mean?
We did. We had games. We had
a mixologist with the drinks back there.
We had a mixologist. I was gonna mention. I wasn't leaving her out. We did. We had a mixologist.
See what I'm saying?
And that was like a highlight. Like we had some signature drinks.
So I couldn't let it pass.
Yeah.
And it was like sold out.
Oh, it was sold out. It was sold out. It was like, can you please squeeze a few more? No, can't.
Can I do that?
We had like people walking by that lived in like the apartment like right next to where the building was, and they were like, "What is this?" Hold on, let me go back upstairs. Let me see if I can. I'm like, we're sold out, but it was amazing. We had a food truck. We had some intermission time where we played some games, but people went outside and got their food and everything. It was.
You said instrumentalist, but you didn't say there was a whole live band there.
I think I did.
That's how you feel? I'm gonna watch the tape. I'm gonna go back and watch the tape.
Okay. You okay?
You said instrumentalist, and I
did say that, but okay.
There was a whole live band.
It was a whole live band. Jay Sharp, to be exact. We also had a professional photographer there. We were supposed to have some mini photo shoot sessions, but we decided on some because of the space to do some professional photography. So a lot of the artists and people that came on stage, they got like these amazing photos of them on stage. It was dope. It was dope.
Nice. Okay. And so you got another one coming up. Tell me about the upcoming Love Jones experience.
So the upcoming Love Jones experience is the Love Jones Experience Harlem Renaissance. Yeah.
You got Langston Hughes coming?
Langston is coming back, baby.
I'm going to be there for that.
Okay.
Get all my dreams undeferred.
Because life for me ain't been. Well.
No crystal stairs around here.
It hasn't. And we're about to tell it on this stage. So this Love Jones Experience is going to be a fusion of like our modern day neo soul and just kind of bringing the vibe of celebrating a collective of artists, just like we had in the Harlem Renaissance. We had all kinds of artists. We had dancers, we had painters, we had singers, we had poets. Okay.
We was there.
You can expect all of that at the next Love Jones Experience. And obviously it's themed, Harlem Renaissance. So you come with your best remix of the Harlem Renaissance.
Oh, we get to dress up a little bit.
You get to dress up a little bit. The last one was...
some suspenders on, maybe.
The last one was expressive. And that was very... people were very serious about the dress code. Let me just go ahead and add that in there. It was
semi-formal / expressive.
Expressive. They were like, what is expressive? How are you feeling? So, but they came, they showed up. They did that. And they showed out. They look good.
True.
They look good.
True.
So this one, again, we don't have to come in our full Harlem Renaissance fits.
Put some suspenders on.
No, yeah, but you can. Yeah, that would be dope. But yeah, definitely a remix of like what that looks like. I love like remixed looks. One of the looks that I like to go for now, not that this means anything, but I love like some sneakers and a blazer. Like this is like my work attire. So you'll often see me like in some dress pants, a nice shirt, a blazer, and some sneakers.
And sneaking around.
Yeah, sneaking around. Remix.
Nice. Where is the next one going to be?
So the next one's going to be at Empire Lounge. And this spot, I think, is going to be super dope for everybody because we have the space that's needed, the bar, the stage, the DJ booth. Like, we're curating very specific details about this event, down to coordinated dances, all of that. So it really is going to be a show.
An experience.
An experience. That's right.
It's going to be an experience.
Yes. So if you're there, you definitely will understand why the Love Jones experience is what it is. And so my plan is to continue making the Love Jones experience a regular occurrence, because after the first one, I just realized how much the spirit of what that brought out in people here, how much it was needed. People were like, I just don't remember the last time this happening. Just that coming together, the authentic vibe, people needed it.
Yeah.
It was a need.
Yeah, that authentic vibe part, I think, is very important. Mm-hmm. Like, what I appreciated about the event is that very thing, that when people come together to go out and spend their money, a lot of times it's like, impress me. You know what I mean? Like, you go to a movie theater, you pay your money, you want to sit back and be impressed. You go to a concert, you expect to be impressed. You know, but then when you come to these kind of like more intimate events, more like artist-driven events, for me, it's less about the impress me and more about the engagement, the experience, like really hearing somebody's soul come out and it connect with yours, and you being able to be like,
right.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? And make an actual connection in that moment and have a whole room full of that. I think that's one of the most amazing things about, you know, the whole poetry scene. That's what came out in the Love Jones movie. This, like the fact that he, like, you know, if, for people who watched the movie, there was the moment when he's in there and he's writing the poem right there about the girl, and then he gets up right there and does the poem right there. Like,
say, baby.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know the poem, don't you?
Can I be your slave?
I know it was something about Yemaya and something in her left eye.
Oh, man. Come on.
I got it all.
Jashua.
I haven't seen it since the old Millennium Player.
You know, this is not going to work out for our friendship.
Clearly, I need to go rewatch it.
Clearly.
No, it was a landmark movie for me. Let me not, like, disrespect my ancestry, my movie ancestry. You know what I mean? I remember where I went to see it. Like, I remember who I went to see it with. I was at Hampton at the time, going to Hampton, Virginia, you know. So, yeah, it was definitely like a pivotal moment. It's not a word, Joshua. A pivotal moment. Mm-hmm. And, like, just the development of us who are artists, you know, especially those of us who are going out to these kind of events.
Right.
Or if we hadn't even started going to those events, that was probably the thing that made us start going.
I had not started, but I remember it was very early in my, like, poetry years, my, you know, figuring out who I was as a poet. Because, I mean, remember, I had been writing since I was in high school, writing poetry, writing songs. I had been in the studio. Like, I'm 17 years old. Like, they're like, come in the studio and write something. I'm like, sure. So, of course, I'm like, I'm a writer. And during this time, I just kind of graduated and went to Florida State. And I was discovering, like, the poetry scene. There was Black on Black rhyme and
back talk.
I was sweet with it. Like, I literally could be like, this is what's on my mind right now. And I could, like, go home and, like, write a poem and then be somewhere to be able to, like, perform it. Yeah. And I remember, like, Love Jones being such an inspiration to me as a poet to feel like, okay, there is a place for me to do this. And I absolutely love this toxic ass love story. But who didn't? You know, now that I know better, I'm like, do better.
Right.
You know, Darius and
Nina.
Both of y'all.
The both of yous.
Just, yeah. That's a whole nother discussion about that, but
Facts.
That could definitely be an episode.
That's an episode of itself.
Yeah.
Breaking down that movie. Mm-hmm. I do know that, like, as much as it was an inspiration for me, like, in those early days, once I got into my poetry, which was like me getting on stage was about my spiritual stuff, which then also opened up the cultural stuff. Yeah. And I think people mostly think of me as the cultural guy. Like, they think Joshua gonna talk about Africa and black people. You know what I mean?
But he's gonna beat that drum.
I get on the stage to talk about God every time. That's the thing that pushed me to the stage.
Right.
That's That's why I do it to this day. I know that gets lost in my message. I ain't always the best one to be like, because I don't want to sound preachy and and churchy, but I want to connect with people on the spirit level every single time, right?
Right.
So my language is often very much secular sounding, but I'm always talking about spiritual things. And so because I was all spiritual and cultural, there was a point at which I look back on Love Jones like, oh, love ass poetry, man. These old soggy ass poets always trying to get in the draws.
He definitely used it for the wrong. He used his powers for the wrong reasons. At that time. However, the overall message, let's not miss the message. The overall message was that like you could exist as an artist, as a writer in this space. I remember somebody telling me, I hated that movie because, like that shit was unrealistic. He's leaving, not working to write his book. I mean, like, I was like, that's kind of sweet. That's dope.
That's
like, I saved up my money. Like, that is
I'm
like
taking a year off to go write.
Please.
Quit playing.
So, I mean, I was like, you clearly don't get it. You're not an artist. But all of us would do that. How much money I need? Just the bare minimum. Like, so I could just leave this job and just write all day.
Rice and ketchup ramen noodles.
Right. Like, don't even care. Like, I'm just out here living and writing. Yeah. Right. Nah, but back to God. Hi, God.
Hey.
I feel you on that because now, and I didn't do this as much, but now even when, even when I'm asked to write a piece, because now I write pieces and I write for myself, poetry, sometimes it just depends. Sometimes just whatever I feel like I write for myself. But there are times when people will hire me to write a piece or whatever. And I always include God in the conversation before. Like, it's like now I understand that this gift is God's gift. Mm-hmm. I'm just a vessel. Like, I just deliver it. And that's so interesting because back when I was younger, I mean, this brain is old now. Like, I'm like Shonda Rhimes. I'm old and I like to lie. Of course, I've read that book too many times. I just ask God, please guide my words. Like, these are your words. So, help me to be able to say what I need to say. And we talked about this the other day when you were talking about your piece and not knowing like where it's really going to end up. Like, you never know. You start with nothing and you never know how great it's going to be or what it's going to be by the end. But by the end, it's like that's good, God. Thank you. and it just flows. So that's, just kind of like paying respects to the gift. You always got to do that. You always got to understand it because when I was younger, like these ideas would just flow. Like I could be riding down the street, McDonald's, like ideas, like flowing, like it was like a river. Yeah. And as I got older and more distracted and more consumed with life, I saw that like waning. And that was like kind of scary for me because as a writer, like you always have like people that live in your head. I hate to sound crazy, but they do. They live there, stories and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But that was, I just can't imagine my life like without all that noise. Mm-hmm. And so that started to go away. And then I was like, no, God, like, okay. I'm still here. Like, I still can do it. I'm still signed up for the assignment. So, yeah, I started to definitely, like, include God into a lot of my writing. Like, even my scripts, whatever it is that I'm writing at the time, even if I'm, like, writing for fun, to try to create something, like, be in this. Be a part of this story. Like, who is this for? Because it's always for someone.
And that's what I wanted to ask about this Love Jones experience. Don't say it for everybody. That's what people always love to say. Who do you want to do this? Everybody. Who do you want? Who is this made for? You had a group, just like you said, your Be Well are for Black women specifically. Black. Who is this specifically for? Love Jones experience.
Honestly.
Everybody, but specifically.
For artists, it doesn't matter what the range is, whether you're professional, whether you're just starting out, whether you've left the scene and came back, for artists. So it's a home for artists. It's a home for Black artists to be able to hone a craft and display a craft, almost like the chitlin circuit. I hate to sound like, but it
chitlins.
is.
We can have veggie chitlins.
Veggie chitlins circuit. A place where it's underground, but baby, it's good. You know what I mean? Like, it is the best thing that you didn't even know you had, because you go and you experience it, and it's love, and it's good, and it's from the heart, and it's from the soul. Also, it's for the lovers of that, the lovers of art. I think there are a lot of people that are not artists that support good artistry and good music, but there isn't an authentic place where that exists, especially for multi-genres. There's a place that you probably can go to hear some live music. Okay, that's great. But is it going to be this? Is it going to be soulful? Is it going to be neo-soul? Is it going to tell the stories of, Black folks? Will you be able to see a Black girl dance? Will you be able to see a Black woman paint? Let me mix it up so it's not just women. Will you be able to see?
Feel a little left out. Shorty.
Will you be able to see a Black man, hit the mic and rap about something that matters to our culture and society? It's not necessarily for a specific group of people that believe a certain things. It's for a group of people that feel a certain way, and like they are on the same vibration with how they feel about this culture and this music. Like, people that are just passionate about that. So those are people I want to come out, have a good time. Yeah.
I dig that. I definitely know here in Palm Beach County there aren't a lot of culturally relevant, culturally sensitive events that are in the arts world. Like, if you've got to go further south, you got to jump on the I and head down south.
Do.
And so to have something like this here, and there are definitely people in the area because they always get on the I and go down south. So,
Right.
So then creating something here, and like the fact that the first one was sold out, I definitely had people reaching out to me like, hey, can I still get tickets? I'm like, nah, player, not at all. You got to get the next one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I was actually excited to say that. Like, nope, you sure can't, bro. You can't even get no tickets now. Too late. We said hurry up.
At one point, I was like, I'm going to add 5 more tickets. Because I was trying to help.
Let me help
and then
out.
It was like, I can't, guys.
Next time.
It's over.
Next time, y'all. Next time. So, like, seeing that kind of thing, that to me definitely says that the place is asking for it. They've been waiting on it such that once it appeared and it was like, yes, finally, it's rain. We were thirsty.
Right.
So that's really beautiful.
Is that what they sound like?
Mm-hmm. Just like that. You didn't hear them? Thirsty.
Give us food.
So I think that it is like positioned well to actually do what you said, become a home, have this space that becomes a place where people are like, yo, every month I know where I'm at, right? Like, or quarterly, however often. How often is this?
Right now, we're going to shoot for every month, every last Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
Right.
Every last Wednesday of the month.
Every last Wednesday of the month, starting in April.
Do you know that date off top? April
26th.
April 26th is the next one. Mm-hmm. That's lively at Empire Lounge. And so people are watching this. They like, oh yeah, I gotta go. How do they go? Do they need a ticket? Can they show up with a smoke signal? What do they need to do? Do they need to
with a smoke signal?
Do they need to hit you on the pager?
No, it will definitely be on Eventbrite. The Love Jones Experience Harlem Renaissance will be on Eventbrite. You can find it there. Those that follow me at Brown Girl Journey, you can 360. You can find it there.
Wait.
Our Be Well.
Say that one again, because you chopped it up. You chopped it up, and they're gonna be like, "Wait, she said that ain't work." So what is it?
So I have 2 pages. Be Well LLC. That you can always find any Be Well event on the Be Well page. Also, my influencer page, Brown Girl Journey 360, is another page that you can find any information about Be Well. Be Well. So that's just my personal experience. Being well, like I practice what I preach, so all the things that I'm putting out to the community, I also do. Like I don't not do those things on a consistent basis.
And that's appreciated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is appreciated. So you doing what you talking about. So that means you could like do a poem or a song or a dance or something right now?
You know what?
You got all this tabletop ready for a dance move?
We talked about this. We talked about this. You know, I'm always on the spot is...
What's that freestyle real quick?
Oh, no. Now that, like, if you want some cat in the hat, like, I got you. I cannot freestyle. Like, I envy you.
That's funny.
Because you really can freestyle.
Fun.
Like, yeah.
Anybody can do it. Practice makes improvement.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to take you up on that right now.
One day.
Cat, rat, sat in the back.
Hog, dog.
No, let's see. You know what?
Pull out a little something. Yeah, because, I mean, it's an artistic vibe. And
it is an artistic vibe.
You look artistic. Like, if I saw you walking down the street, I'd be like, hey, you artistic? You be doing poetry or something?
You be doing that poetry, girl.
Let me hear a little limerick or a little haiku or something. You got a limerick, shorty? I like limericks. I actually do. That's what made me first start like poetry in the 5th grade. Writing limericks is how I started writing poetry. Real historical facts.
Real historical facts.
Mm-hmm. Not the what they have during Trump's era. What kind of facts? Alternative facts. These are not multiversal alternative facts. This is the present universe.
Present.
You found something?
You know what? Okay, so let me just redeem this piece.
I can see the look of ready. We don't want no preamble and redemption. We want to hear the art. We are art lovers and artists. We don't need no.
Fine.
Don't discount the poem before we even get to buy it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to discount it, by the way.
Okay, good. Upcharge.
Refuge. You were refuge, where a broken mind could rest, unloading unknown baggage I had on my chest, pressed against desire and do right. Couldn't sit back and let this moment pass at last. Someone knows I'm here. I mean, I wasn't alone, but I was. Black girls don't cry in public. We're subject to ridicule and shame, and our salted tears aren't the same. So yeah, you were refuge. A soul that wasn't easy to find, but one that I treasured. We measured love and spirit, and we spoke in synchronized heartbeats. We could read minds, and time seemed to stand still, but still, shit like that don't last. So now I talk of us in past tense, even though you're still here. We can't get past this part where fences divide hearts. And this doesn't feel like refuge anymore. It feels like every day my heart is sore, and you are but an empty shell posing as the soul you used to be, but only when you see me guarded. And we try, and we try, and we try to feel the magic, but it's gone, reenacting moments that become mundane ritual. Nothing about these sexual pleasures are residual, more like depleted accounts of the love that once was, and you've become sus in your actions. And just like that, I know, without knowing that your heart dwells in a new home. And no matter how many times you tell me different, you're different. And it's not what you tell me, but it's what you neglect to say. And the truth is, no matter either way, how long should I wait for you to share your truth, or should I share mine? This is no longer a place of refuge. This mind is still broken. These tears are still private. Memories of us play on old vinyls, skipping at the parts where we fell apart. And I sit, waiting to restart the record, anticipating the crackle that begins the replay of our broken love. Refuge.
That's poetry. I'm going to do the little
You want
finger
to do a little finger snap? Go ahead.
Because I could hear the crackle. Like, that was a very...
The
visual,
vinyl,
like
yeah.
Very visual. The whole poem, like I was there. I could see it.
You
He
know,
was a poet, huh?
a broken record.
You said you
know?
were a writer. You did say that. You got degrees and stuff.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's intimidating.
It really isn't.
You're a professional.
It really isn't. You know what? I used to struggle a little bit. I remember, you remember Samantha Thornhill.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant
We
writer.
were roommates in Williamsburg
Poet, yes.
for a small time.
We actually went to school together.
I do know that.
Yes, we did.
That's how I met all y'all together.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I was like more of a poet for the page. So there was a poet for the page and a poet for the stage.
True.
And the spoken word artist was a poet for the stage.
That's right.
And I was always really insecure in my artistry because I lived somewhere between the two. And I didn't always have the theatrics,
right?
For the stage.
Which matters in spoken word.
Soft spoken a little bit, just a little bit. And so I struggled with that. But, as I grew up and I was like, don't care. I just infused my style, just started infusing. And so like this piece is one that's like for the page. I mean, there's some elements for the stage. And of course, I can, now that I know what I'm doing, I can make that happen. If I really memorized the piece and started working it. Sure. But it's just something I wrote in my notes.
No, that makes sense.
One day on the beach.
I've done spoken word is what people mostly know me for. And most of the writings that I put in public were spoken word, but I realized I've got all of these poems that are not for the stage, hence why I now have 2 books of poetry. You know what I mean? Like they had to go find their space too. And everything ain't meant for the stage and everything ain't meant for the page. It's certain things you got to read to get it. Like it might be a homophone on there, and if I say it out loud, you're going to miss that I just did a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So certain things are meant for the page and certain are meant for the stage. So
I actually like reading now. I did a piece a couple of days ago at the community center. And I read that was a performance piece, which I've performed before, but I read it, and because I was able to slow it down and really, get into it, I think people were like there with me. And not that they can't be there. I mean, they're there with your energy, when you're on the stage, but sometimes, like I said, these words that are delivered through me are there for people to listen to. And so reading is an art in itself. So I can just appreciate it now because, my younger self was like, oh my gosh, I got to kill it. I got to be fire every time, and it's just like, appreciate who you are, Kim, please. Yeah. That's what God was saying to me. And I was like, I get it, God. Thanks.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I teach spoken word to young people, and everybody can't memorize poetry, and so I've taught them it's okay to read. It's okay to come off the paper, but you can either be chill with that or you can make that a performance too. I've taught my students to ball up the paper and throw it at the audience member as they're going through, or to be theatrical about how they drop the piece of paper instead of just being looking all nervous with your paper, make it part of the thing, flick it at them. You know what I mean? Show that, I'm paper, but so what? I'm swagging. As long as the energy of what you're doing is the energy of what's in that poem.
Right.
Paper don't matter.
All there.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, some of our famous poets, did not stand up and memorize poetry.
Exactly.
They didn't.
Right. We be putting a lot of pressure on people nowadays.
We do. I mean, and that's okay because if you are performance-based, I mean, being a performer, that taught me a lot. I mean, I was, been performing on stage, singing, whatever. That's taught me a lot about the performance and the audience and all that other stuff. But honestly, when you write, it's about the words. It's about the soul. It's about what you're feeling. It's about connecting, like you said earlier, with people out there. And making sure that they understand that what I'm feeling could be what you're feeling. I'm sure if I read that, someone would be like,
They ain't my refuge no more either.
You are not my refuge.
They gonna go home and say that.
I am leaving you.
You done broke up some unhappy homes tonight.
I hear the broken record.
I hear the crackle of the vinyl. Waiting for the skip.
It was kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy, that little crackling sound and that.
There's a whole vibe to it for sure. It's definitely a mood setter. Whatever that mood's about to be, that little, you hear the little skip of, yeah. So Love Jones Experience is going to be all curated. Is there open mic? How does that go for artists if they oh my God, I want to be a participant?
So okay? It is curated, 90% of it. But then we do have a short time that we do have open mic. And we do that because we want, again, lovers of the arts to be able to express and do what they do. If there is time, obviously, because we are going to work really hard at allowing people or practicing so that we can provide that experience for people. However, we do want to give others the opportunity to, shine in front of the community and and give validity to what it is that they have to offer as well, because, you know, that's why we're in the space. So we'll definitely open up some time for that. It won't be a lot of time. However, because we are there every month, just go ahead and get on that sign up so that you can get your face in the place.
Word. All right. That's lovely. So I do want to say one of the things I'm really excited about the Love Jones experience is the experiences. And I heard you say something about some dances or something like that.
Yes.
And we had the live painting last time, like a brother was sitting there painting live.
Right.
On the scene. And we did have the games, like games in play. People won prizes and things like that. We played Taboo. We played a couple different word games, you know.
We did play some word games.
And, you know, it was a lot of fun. You
the
know,
crowd was
engagement.
very playful, yes.
Yeah. And so that made a lot of fun because the crowd got to really be a part of it, even though they weren't performing. They were, like, engaged and, you know, got to shine with their intelligence and their brilliance and have a lot of fun with each other.
Right.
So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to the different kind of experiences because I know we've talked about having dances. We've talked about having, like, a mini sip and paint in there. Like, so over the couple months, there will be a different experience every time.
Each time we have the Love Jones experience, regardless of its specific theme. So this time it's Harlem Renaissance, but the next time it'll be something else. We just try to add like an experience in there outside of some of the typical arts that you can expect so that people can like have a hands-on experience with what it's like to either be in this genre, this era, or to just be able to do things. Like, so having the sip and paint experience so people can practice like the artist did or not, or just experiment with that. Also, just kind of bringing, again, the fusion of dance to a space. Like, where do you go where people are dancing from a particular time period, but also infusing that modern day, you know, movement into things. So we're just looking forward to that, you know, maybe a little teaching people some dance moves. It just depends. Like, you never know what you're going to get. And of course, this audience is always up to have fun. So I'm not even worried about people not wanting to try a dance or not wanting to try to paint something or not wanting to try a virtual experience, doing whatever, because they were just ready to experience art. Yeah.
Lovely. I feel like I had one more question I was about to ask. What was that, Joshua? Oh, no, I just wanted to say that the facts that you said it'll be something different next month. The following month. So April is Harlem Renaissance. If people want to show up Harlem Renaissance out, but they don't know what that is, how can they figure that out? Can you give them some like things to type into Google or YouTube? Who can they look up? A poet, a singer, a movie?
Well, we'll definitely have some from this point on until the event, we'll definitely be posting some inspirational photos and things of that nature. We definitely want people to get creative. But if you can't get creative, you know, you can always just show up as yourself, because that's okay as well. But honestly, if you just take tidbits from the time and just infuse it, like, you know, we're not looking for, you know, the full, you know, head to toe, you know, garb, you know, however.
But we're not preventing it either.
We're not, because we are going to have a best dress competition, because you always got to do that, because, you know.
Somebody going to really put the time and effort.
Black folks are expressive. We are some expressive people. So there'll always be those people. However, yeah, we will definitely put out some information, some photographs, some, you know, inspirational pics. So
come
people
to your
can
page.
Come to my page.
So which page should they be looking at specifically?
Be Well LLC.
Be Well LLC, and they can find some inspiration for their looks. Show up looking like they from Harlem in the 1920s. I think that when Malcolm X movie was about. When they was Zoot Suits, am I in the right time frame?
Yeah, Zoots. Yeah. Suits.
So maybe I should just go watch Malcolm X if y'all don't know what to do.
You know.
I'm just trying to give people references.
Right.
If they like, I don't even know what the Harlem Renaissance is.
Nights.
Like, the what? Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights.
Let's all go watch Harlem Nights and show up like that. Yeah, that's a good reference point.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
For
men
know
and
what?
women.
I want to correct myself on something.
Do that there.
So the IG page is BeWell_events.
That's important. We've been lost.
I was saying that wrong.
We'd have been so confused. Like,
yes.
She told me
BeWell_events.
Okay.
Yes.
BeWell_events.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah. So pictures will be posted, but if you guys hit me up, I can help you out. BeWell_events. I got you.
Boom. Well,
whatever you need.
This sounds very exciting. Sounds like it's going to be a lovely thing that people will not forget if they be there. Like, I did a thing.
They did. Well, listen, they will. It is. Like, let's go ahead and speak that into
Speak it.
In the future.
All right. Well, thank you, Kim. Is there anything else that you want to make plain? I know I asked questions, but maybe I didn't ask what you wanted to answer. So if there's anything you wanted to put into the atmosphere.
No, the only thing I want to put in the atmosphere is I am really excited about being in the position to be this person for my community, to be able to give to my community something that I feel like it desperately needs. And I hope that other people can receive it. And I'm just excited about the energy that thus far has come my way. I started literally by myself, with these thoughts, a singular being manifesting stuff from myself. And then it was like, wait a minute, I like what you're doing, I want to help. Wait a minute, I like what you're doing, I want to help. And now I feel like I have a team, I have people, I have community, which is the entire point of me doing what I'm doing. So I know that I'm doing something right when you have the community kind of growing before your eyes. And that's all that I hope that happens, is that we continue to grow. And anybody that wants to be a part of the movement, let's be well together.
Let's be well together.
Yes.
Well, that's beautiful.
Black, beautiful, and well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for taking that. And I always like to say, inside of a seed is the whole tree, right? It's like the tiniest little seed, like you said, you started by yourself and now you got all these branches. But then at a point it hit me inside of a seed is a whole forest, because that seed will grow up and it'll drop seeds and they'll so one seed has a whole forest in it. You know what I mean? So as tiny as that is. So yeah, I appreciate that you jump down into the soil and start putting some roots in, you know what I mean? Making space for the rest of us to branch out with you. So thank you for holding that space.
Absolutely.
Be well.
Be well. Thank you for listening to the Love Jones Experience. Just write a review and subscribe.